I have a plan to take home over $1 million in 2024, all while only working 4 hours a day. And I know that's a bold claim, but I'm going to back it up, I promise, in this video. And the way that I'm going to do this is through access and community, those two things. Now, what do I mean by that? Every single business nowadays is in a quote unquote saturated market. Doesn't matter if you're a local business, SaaS, you're an agency, like you have to differentiate yourself to stand out, right? And you can do that in a lot of different ways. Faster communication, better branding, better services overall. But as we all know, if you can really just remove yourself and put your offer in a category of one where nobody else can copy you, that is the absolute best place to be. And what I'm focusing on this year is being better at everyone else at something they can never ever beat me at, which is being myself. No one can ever beat me at being me. So I'm leaning super hard into that this year. And I want the majority of money I make this year to be because people get some sort of access to me. Now, before you click off and say, this doesn't apply to me, I promise you it does apply to you. And I'm going to show you how this not only applies in coaching and consulting, but also for agencies, software businesses, local businesses. No matter the business, you can apply what I'm talking about in this video. So stick around and I'll show you. So on the screen, you'll see the core pillars of this plan. I'm going to have 3 different communities that people can access, all with a little bit different level of access to me. So the first one will be my affiliate community. And to join this one, you can either pay $50 a week or it will be free with an affiliate signup of pre-vetted affiliate offers that pay me monthly. This is a great way for people to start coming into my world because it's something they're going to pay for already, and then they get a little bit of help as a thank you for signing up. And this isn't just high level. For those of you that know me, you know I promote that, but there's a lot of other softwares that people use or could use, and maybe they're already signed up all the way to $497 on high level, and they want to join and get some access and start talking to me. I have a list of additional softwares they might want to sign up for that they can use as well. And what's included in this community is going to be trainings and templates, mainly on using high level and selling high level, but some of my other trainings will be in there as well. Secondly, 1 call per month with myself. And then lastly, access to my team for strategy and tech help. So inside of the group, people will be able to ask whatever questions they want, and my team will get back to them within 24 to 48 hours. And as far as revenue received to me from this, it's going to be about $50 to $200 a month per person that joins. Great. So that's community number 1. And that community is already at around $45,000 in February. Really, I think we did closer to 47, but let's just say for easy numbers, $45,000 in February. And I think the forecast for this one is pretty bright. So I'll show you what I expect that to look like here in a minute. And that next community is what I'm calling the Dominators Guild, or beginning to call it just the Guild. And here's the thing, there's a lot of free groups that have started to pop up online because of the popularity of school starting to rise. And the reality is a free group, as awesome as it may be, is just not that valuable because it takes so much moderation because anyone can join. And because there's so many people, there's not actually real support given in those groups. And because it's not exclusive, it doesn't feel super special when you get inside. People might try to make you feel special by being inside, but really we all know that you're not that special for being inside of a free group. So what I'm doing with the Dominators Guild instead is limiting the size of that and charging for access, similar to the affiliate community, but it's more expensive. So this one is currently $200 a week to join. And again, it's limited to 100 people. And what it includes is you get an onboarding call with myself where we map out your strategy for the 3 to 6 to 12 months that you want to be inside. You get even more trainings and templates than you would get inside of the affiliate community. You get 1 group call per week. Eventually I'll up that to 2 group calls per week when we have enough people to warrant that, because if all 100 people show up to a call every single week, it's going to be a long call and not everybody's going to get their questions answered. So I may as well split those, helps with time zones, all that kind of thing. Right now it's small enough we don't need that, but eventually we will. And then lastly, they get access to me in a group setting so they can ask whatever question they want as long as it's in the group. They don't get a DM me. We're not chatting back and forth. Everything happens within the group. And this community is at about $9,500 a month as of the end of February. We launched at the very beginning of February, and we have 11 people in the group so far. And the thing I really like about the guild and the way it's set up is I can open or close it as I please. So if I'm like, I don't have time for a lot of onboarding calls this week, I'm just going to let in a couple people right now, then I'll go ahead and contact the people on the wait list. I'll let them in, do their onboarding calls, and then close it until I'm ready. And at that point, I may let in 5 to 10 people at a time if I have a more open week where I can sit down and do more onboarding calls. But really, it's super flexible in terms of the time that I have to put into it each week, and I can work that around vacations or or whatever else I need to do. The basic plan here though is to bring on about 10 people a month into the guild. All right, lastly, this brings me to the inner circle, or as I'm trying to call them, the guild masters. It seems a bit too cheesy for me. I'm not really like a World of Warcraft person, but maybe you guys can let me know what sounds cooler, the inner circle or the guild masters. Both, I don't know, they're sort of cringy to me, but basically this one costs $500 per week. It's limited to 7 people, and the difference between the other communities here are that there's a separate call with just the people inside of the inner circle, and then they also get WhatsApp access, meaning that they can literally call me if they want to and just be like, hey, I need some help on this, and most of the time I'll actually answer. So these are the people that are paying me so much that I'm really dedicating a lot more time and energy to them, and they have a lot more access to me when they need it. The people in this group right now know that I get back to them super quickly. It's just on my phone, so I really just respond in the nooks and crannies of my day, and they get help super quickly. And this inner circle is at about $7,000 per month right now. All right, so that brings me to delivery. There's a big concern with this type of model that a lot of people would have, like, wow, it's just like the whole business is built on me. I can't take any days off, all that kind of thing. But it's really not that bad. You're going to be working anyway. And if you're like me, you enjoy these conversations. I wish I could have more of them, and I'm excited to have more of them this year. So it really doesn't feel like work, but this is the general schedule. So on Mondays, I have the inner circle call. I'll do any onboarding calls I have to do for the guild, and I'll answer questions inside of the guild and the inner circle. Tuesdays, all I have to do is answer questions. Wednesdays, eventually when we have the second guild call, that's when it will be. I'll do onboarding calls on that day as well, and I'll answer questions. Thursday will just be an answering questions day. And then Friday, sometimes I'll have 2 calls. So that will be the affiliate call, which is 1 Friday per month on the last Friday. Those calls might go super long depending on, how many people show up every time. A lot of people just come to listen, so it doesn't end up taking too long, but we'll go for as long as we need on those calls. I'll also have the second guild call that day and answer any questions inside of the groups that I need to. So as you can see, I've got plenty of white space on my calendar. And again, I'm only working 4 hours a day on this. I just had a baby. I'm super excited to spend a ton of time with him this year. And so work is taking a backseat. I'm only working from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time every day. So another question is, how are you going to scale this up to $1 million a year take home, Keaton? And basically the potential I see in each of these groups is that the affiliate one can get to about $100,000 a month without hiring any extra team members to answer those questions. The guild, since it's capped at 100 people, can only get to $86,000 a month. And the inner circle, as it's capped at 7, can only get to $15,000 a month. Now, of course, this isn't going to happen overnight, and I don't want it to happen overnight. That would be a ton of work all at once. Tons of people would end up having a bad experience, and I'd much rather bring them on slowly, grow slowly, and enjoy my life along the way. So this is a graph I've mapped out for 2024. You can see these 3 communities, and then 2 other main sources of revenue I have, which are leftover agency clients I have that's super steady at about $2,500 a month, and AdSense from my YouTube channel, which right now is at about $3,500 a month, and I'm just forecasting will grow by $100 a month every month for the rest of the year. Now, for the affiliate side of things, it's been growing pretty steadily at about $5,000 a month since August of last year. So I'm pretty confident on that data. And I've just forecasted that it's going to continue to grow on average about $5,000 a month every month for the rest of 2024, which would put me at about $95,000 per month in December. Next up, we've got the guild. As I mentioned, I'm going to bring on 10 people per month into this, and that means it'll cap out somewhere around October. But of course, I'm expecting some churn. Some people will only join for a month. Some people will join for the entire year. And so I've just averaged this out and assumed that I'll reach capacity in December of this year. And then lastly, we have the inner circle. I'm forecasting this will grow by 1,000 per month starting next month. So at the end of the year, it ends at its cap of 15,000 a month. I'm trying to be as reasonable as possible with these forecasts, not growing too fast, but also not, assuming that everything's going to implode. I think this is a really, really solid, realistic plan. So if everything goes according to this plan, these are the totals I will make from each one of these in 2024. I'm forecasting about $30,000 from my agency clients, about $49,000 from my AdSense revenue, $136,000 from the inner circle, $810,000 from affiliate revenue, and $528,000 from the guild. So that brings the total revenue for 2024 to about 1.55 million. But where this gets super exciting is for 2025, where I've done all the work to build up these streams and I'm super happy with them. I don't have to have my foot on the gas so much to just keep grow. I don't need more than $1 million a year take home. It's just fun to try to do it with this constraint of 4 hours a day. And so if I get to the next year, I'll continue creating, invest more in the community and helping those people. And of course, making for YouTube videos for you guys, but I'll be able to afford to take my foot off the gas even more because I'll have all of these revenue streams established instead of building them up. And if all goes goes according to plan, I'm assuming in 2025, I won't have the agency clients I currently have. AdSense, let's say, will stay the same because I'm not making as many videos perhaps. The inner circle will be 180,000. Affiliates will be 1.2 million. And the guild will be $1,032,000, which brings the forecasted total for 2025 to $2,462,000. All right, now the question on everybody's mind, what's the profit going to be from this? My expenses are not complex, but I do actually like to keep them high in the team category because I like to hire the best. So I've calculated out Stripe fees at 3% just to make sure that we're being conservative. The affiliate revenue doesn't have Stripe fees, but let's overestimate it just to be safe. Then my software and subscription fees is around $2,400 a month right now. So that'll be another $30K-ish. And then my team, I plan to pay about $473,000 to have some kind of revenue sharing agreements in place and to attract great talent stateside. You have to be able to pay, good salaries, $150,000 plus every year. And if you're curious what this team looks like, basically I've got a communications/support specialist, a project manager that takes care of all of my backend tasks, new funnels, websites, automations, email campaigns, all that kind of thing, a video team that helps me edit all of these videos that you're watching right now, and then a designer. And so I'm forecasting total expenses for this year to be about $538,000. And so that's what brings us to the profit number of $1,015,013. Now, if you're still watching, as promised, I'm going to talk about how you can apply this community/access-based model to your business. Let's take the example of a local business in this case. And the example I'm going to give you is an orthodontist that I talked to a little bit. He never ended up becoming a client, but did reach out at one point to discuss agency services with my orthodontic marketing agency. He's a celebrity in the orthodontic space, and he has a lot of followers and did a great job growing his Instagram. Now, what's super interesting about him, because he's invested all this time in his personal brand, is a lot of people are coming to his practice not just to get their teeth straightened. They're coming to have access to this celebrity that they've seen on Instagram. It's sort of the same concept as Cameo.com, where you can pay for shout outs from actors and influencers and famous people. People are willing to pay for a little bit of perceived access to somebody that has so much status in their eyes. So it's the same concept in the local business. If you can position getting access to whoever the face of that business is, or maybe just the community that that business has built, then you have a really powerful extra marketing and sales force working for you, where people are more likely to buy just because they want access to this famous person. All right, now moving on to an agency. A great example of this, I was talking to my friend Matt Shields at a high-level meetup that we did recently, and he mentioned that their agency, Estate AI, which is I think over $300,000 a month right now, what they're focused on is not really the done-for-you service side of things. They're focused on the community of real estate agents that they're bringing in. Although they do ads, although they do lead nurturing, really what people are paying about $100 a month for is getting into a community of other people that are killing it and getting some coaching and help in there. So it's this really cool combination of like, I'm investing in myself and a community that's going to carry me towards my goals. And by the way, we happen to do your ads. The agency business, as awesome as it is becoming more and more commoditized. And so as you layer in a community aspect where they don't just get ads and leads, they get an elevated experience, there's a ton of power in the retention there. And another really cool thing that Estate AI does is not just that base tier, they actually have an additional tier for their most successful agents or for people who want to pay more to be in the most exclusive room. And those people upgrade, they get more ads, but the main focus of that upsell is access to an elite group of people. And that brings me to the last model here that I'll talk about, which is if you run a software or some sort of SaaS business, you can have your community bolted onto the SaaS. Someone who does this really well is Uphex. They have like Ask Me Anything calls. They have a group where people can ask questions. Tons of people are sharing resources, getting help, all that type of thing. But what if Uphex, instead of just having that core group, again, added the elite group on top and said, hey, you're an elite Uphex user. We're putting together a mastermind and only our top users are actually invited, and we're limiting it to 12 people, 25 people, whatever it is. You could get people who are paying $500 a month for a software to instead upgrade and pay you $3,000 a month for access to an amazing community. Other people who are doing great things with Uphex, maybe there's partnerships that come out of that. People at those elite levels know that paying $25,000, $50,000 a year for access to the right rooms can be worth 10x that amount to them. And so they're willing to do it. So there you have it, community and access, one of the easiest and best ways to differentiate yourself in today's marketplace, no matter what business you run. Now, if you'd like to join one of the 3 groups that I mentioned in this video that I have, the affiliate group, the guild, or my inner circle, go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram or check out my website for information on how to join. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.